Today, we are going to discuss sympathetic joy, mudita, in Theravada Buddhism. Lord Gautama Buddha has described four positive qualities or virtues that are inherently present in the human mind. And they are called divine abodes or Brahma Viharas. And the four Brahma Viharas are loving kindness, metta, compassion, karuna, sympathetic joy, mudita, and equanimity, upekha. Now, when one cultivates these four qualities in one's mind, it can lead to positive emotional health, happiness, and also to rewarding social relationships. And through the development of these four Brahma Viharas, one could also use them for one's spiritual development. Now, Brahmas are supposed to be celestial beings living in celestial worlds known as the Brahma worlds. And it is said that these Brahmas possess these four qualities in abundance. But here, Brahma means superior divine qualities, and Vihara means dwelling places. So Brahma Vihara means the superior divine four qualities as one's dwelling places. And the four Brahma Viharas are inherent in the human mind, but they function at different levels based on practice and their cultivation. And these four qualities are also known as limitless and immeasurable qualities. Because one is able to express and extend these four qualities to all living beings in the universe without any limit or boundaries. Now, the four Brahma Viharas existed in India before Lord Gautama Buddha appears. But the people in those days practiced the four Brahma Viharas in their meditation in order to develop deep mental absorptions called jhanas, and also with the expectation that due to the development of those jhanas, they will be reborn in one of those Brahma worlds. Now, Lord Gautama Buddha adapted and reinterpreted the same four Brahma Viharas so that they can contribute to Buddhist path of liberation as well. Now, sympathetic joy is the positive quality of the mind that helps one to be able to share in the happiness and joy of others and feel happiness and joy when someone else is experiencing some happiness due to some cause. Now, the Pali word mudita is derived from the word modati, meaning to rejoice or be happy. And in the Buddhist literature, mudita is also described as empathetic joy, selfless joy, appreciative joy, altruistic joy, and boundless joy. And as we said before, it is a limitless and boundless positive quality of a mind. And when it is developed well, sympathetic joy can be extended to all living beings in the universe without any discrimination. Now, through sympathetic joy, one can experience happiness and joy when others are happy and successful, as if one is experiencing that same success and happiness in oneself. And it also includes not only success, but to be able to appreciate positive qualities and special skills in others. Now, sympathetic joy is an innate quality of the mind, but it is inhibited by negative mental defilements like greed, lobha, hatred, dosa, and delusion, moha. Now, in most people, sympathetic joy may not arise spontaneously. So one will have to put in some effort in order to develop it. And out of the 4 Brahma Viharas, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, sympathetic joy is probably the most difficult mental quality to develop. Now, one can say that sympathetic joy is similar to the joy and happiness that a mother feels when her own child is doing well, successful, and is happy. Now, if one is able to be happy only at one's own success, skills, and achievement, it sort of limits the opportunities for one to feel happy and joyful. But if one can feel joy and happiness at the success of others as well, then that provides more opportunities for one to feel joy. Now, there are some people who cannot feel joy and happiness even at one's own success or at one's skills and good qualities. And they have a tendency to play them down. So those people will find it even more difficult to appreciate and feel happy about skill, success, and happiness of other people. Now, when we consider the 3 Brahmaviharas of loving kindness, compassion, and sympathetic joy, loving kindness can be expressed in any neutral circumstances, whereas compassion is expressed when someone else is distressed or is suffering. On the other hand, sympathetic joy is practiced when someone else is experiencing success, achievement, and happiness. And there are some who will feel envy, resentment, and jealous when someone else is successful or happy. And some others may even feel some pleasure and happiness when someone else is experiencing failure or unhappiness, especially in someone whom one dislikes. So for those people, practice of sympathetic joy will be the perfect antidote to those negative feelings. Now, sympathetic joy is a meditation object. In the Buddhist literature, there are 40 meditation objects that are suitable for concentration meditation. And sympathetic joy is one of those 40 meditation objects. And in concentration meditation, the aim is to develop tranquility and concentration of the mind. When one focuses attention on a single meditation object, such as sympathetic joy, concentration of the mind develops. And when the concentration develops, 5 mental defilements called mental hindrances gradually get suppressed. And those 5 mental hindrances are sensual desire, kama chanda, ill will, vyapada, sloth and torpor, tina middha, restlessness and remorse, uddhacha kukkucha, and skeptical doubt, vichikicha. When these mental hindrances get suppressed and concentration deepens, 5 positive mental factors called jhana factors develop. And the 5 jhana factors are initial application, vitakka, sustained application, vichara, rapture or joy, priti, mental bliss or happiness, sukha, and one-pointedness with equanimity, ekaggata with upekha. And as the concentration of the mind deepens further, what are called deep mental absorptions or jhanas develop. The Buddha has described 8 such jhanas that one could develop through concentration meditation. 4 fine material or rupa jhanas and 4 formless arupa jhanas. Now, out of the 8 jhanas, one could develop the first 3 jhanas through meditation on sympathetic joy. Now, when one develops a well-concentrated mind, then one could use that concentrated mind to practice insight meditation or vipassana bhavana to gain an insight and wisdom into the 3 universal characteristics of all conditioned phenomena in the universe. And that is, everything in this universe is impermanent, anicca, leads to suffering, dukkha, and has no permanent entity called self, anatta. And when one develops insight and wisdom into these characteristics of all conditioned phenomena, then that can lead to one's enlightenment. Now, let us look at meditation on sympathetic joy, mudita bhavana. In a discourse called Maharahulovada Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, that's a collection of the Buddha's middle-length discourses. The Buddha was instructing Venerable Rahula, who was his son during the Buddha's lay life, to meditate on sympathetic joy to get rid of the negative quality of resentment. The Buddha said, develop the meditation of sympathetic joy, for when you are developing the meditation of sympathetic joy, resentment will be abundant. Now, one could cultivate the quality of sympathetic joy and also develop it further through the practice of meditation on sympathetic joy. And meditating on sympathetic joy can be done anywhere. But initially, it is better to use the sitting posture in a quiet place. It can be practiced in any of the 4 postures, that is, sitting, standing, walking, or lying down. Now, when one starts the meditation on sympathetic joy, it can be helpful to close the eyes gently and take a few deep, soft breaths to make sure the mind and the body are relaxed. And then bring a dear person to the mind. Now, the dear person could be a family member, a relative, friend, teacher, or a benefactor. One has to choose someone who has recently experienced some success, achievement, or happiness. And then try to visualize that person in the happy, joyful, and contented mood. And then the meditator can generate a feeling of appreciation and happiness for the happiness of that person. One could even make up a few phrases and mentally repeat them, such as, I am happy for your happiness or success or achievement. May your happiness grow and continue. If one could not think of a current occasion when that person happened to be happy and joyful, one could try to visualize an occasion in the past when that person was happy, or even an occasion that may come up in the future. When the meditator has developed enough appreciation and happiness for the happiness of that chosen dear person, then one could move on to a neutral person, then to a person with whom one may have had some hostile feelings, and finally to oneself. Now, some meditators may choose to start the meditation feeling happy for one's own joy and success first, and others may prefer to do it at the end. Now, when one develops sympathetic joy in relation to oneself, Initially, one may have the tendency to hesitate or find it difficult to think of something to be happy and joyful. Try to visualize a recent, even on that day, an occasion of success, something that one felt happy and joyful about. And if one finds it difficult to find such an occasion, think of a good gesture, however small, that one did to someone else that one felt happy about. Or one could even think about a particular skill one has or a recent achievement. And then try to feel the joy and the happiness about that occasion in the mind and the body. And finally, generate happiness and joy for success and happiness in all living beings in the universe. And that is done in a boundless and limitless manner, with no limitations or barriers, such as discrimination, prejudice, or personal preferences. Now, one could develop sympathetic joy to all living beings in one of two techniques. Now, in the first technique, one feels happiness and joy for success and happiness in all living beings living in the 10 geographical directions. That is, all living beings living in the north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, above and below. And in the other technique, one feels happiness and joy for all living beings in an expanding order of geographical locations. One can begin with all beings living in one's own residence and then gradually extend it to the neighborhood and then to one's village or town, county, state or province, country, continent, the whole world, and the universe. Now, when one practices meditation on sympathetic joy, one needs to keep an eye to recognize two enemies that can arise during meditation and even in day-to-day life. Now, one is a far enemy and the other one is near enemy. Now, the far enemy is resentment or envy towards someone else's success and happiness. And that is easy enough to recognize. But it is more difficult to recognize the near enemy. And the near enemy is insincere, superficial joy at someone else's success or achievements. And externally, one may even show euphoria at somebody else's success. But internally, in one's own mind, one will quietly feel envy and jealousy. One can even take credit and ownership of the success and achievement of the others. Now, when one is familiar with the meditation on sympathetic joy, one should make an effort to be mindful and notice occasions of even small, minute success, joy, and happiness in oneself. and also others during one's day-to-day life, because that will help one to be able to feel sympathetic joy as a spontaneous response in everyday life and enjoy its benefit. Thank you very much.